Okay, in the last session, okay, we were discussing about the concepts of backups and recovery using pgdump and psql tool. Whereas, so whatever the things that we have done, or whatever the backups that we have taken with the default option, right? So whenever you do not specify, okay, whenever you do not specify any format, by default pgdump take the backups in which format. Pgdump is going to take the backups in a plain format. Okay, now we are going to see what are the disadvantages of the plain backup format. Okay, what are the disadvantages with the plain format backup? With the plain format backup, okay, let's say I have taken a backup of a CRDS database. Okay, I have taken a backup of a CRDS DB backup. Okay, CRDS DB backup. Okay, I have an entire backup from this backup file. Okay, what is the backup file name? The backup file name is crds.sql. Okay, this is the backup file. From this file, can we restore a particular table? Can we restore a particular table, or can we restore a particular schema? No, we cannot restore a particular table, or we cannot restore a particular schema. So whatever the backup file is there, we need to restore entire thing. Okay, it is not possible to restore a specific objects from the plain format. Okay, it is not possible to restore a specific, okay, it is not possible to restore a specific objects from the backup file. And the second point is, if you see, the backup file sizes are huge. Backup file size is huge. Backup file size is huge. These are the two disadvantages, right? And one more thing is, compared with the formatted backups, plain backup will take more time. Plain backups will take more time to complete. Okay, so the point that you need to remember is, the very important point is, if you have a backup file, you cannot restore a specific object. Which means, I have an entire database backup which is taken in a plain format. It is not possible to restore a specific schema, or it is not possible to restore a specific table from the entire backup. Okay, from the entire backup file. So that is the reason why we have introduced a formatted backups in PostGres. What does it mean by formatted backups? Formatted backups. Formatted backups in PostGres. Okay, if it is a plain backup file, we can open the file and we can read the contents. Okay, but if it is a formatted backup file, we cannot. It is not in a human readable format. You cannot open and you can read the contents of the file. You cannot open and you cannot read the contents of the file. Based on the type, we have three types of formatted backups. Okay, we have three types of format backups. One is a custom format, and second one is a directory format. Third one is a tar format. First one is a custom format, second one is a directory format, and third one is a tar format. So, okay, is options are going to change? No, it's not going to change. There is no change in the options of pgdump. The only extra option that we are going to add is a hyphen capital F, and hyphen capital F refers to a format. If you give like C, then it is a custom format. If you give like D, it is a directory format. If you give like T, it is a tar format. Okay, if it is a tar format, these are all the, this is how you need to pass the formats to a pg underscore dump command. Okay, so now we are going to see what does it mean by custom format, what does it mean by directory format, and what does it mean by tar format. And one more thing is, okay, and one more thing is, like, there will be no change in the options. The hyphen D again used for the database backup, hyphen N is used for the schema backup, hyphen T is used for the table backup, and one more thing is, hyphen S is used to take the DDL backup, and hyphen A is used to take only data backup. There will be no change in the options, but we are going to take the backups in a binary format, which is like a formatted backups. Okay, which is like a formatted backups. And one more advantage with this formatted backups is we can do a specific object restore. Let's say I have taken a backup in any of these formats. It can be a custom format or directory format or tar format. I have a backup of a database. I can restore a particular table, I can restore a particular schema, or I can restore a particular object. Okay, I can restore a particular object from the backup file, whereas the same thing is not, okay, the same thing is not available in the plain format backups. Okay, now we are going to discuss one by one. First of all, we are going to discuss about the custom formats. Custom format. So it takes the backups in a binary way. It takes backup in binary form. Binary format means which is not a human readable format. Okay, by default it is compressed. By default it is compressed. And so whenever you take a backups in a custom format, pg underscore restore is used to pg underscore restore is used to pg underscore restore is used to restore the backups. Pg underscore restore is used to restore the backups, and that it will be faster when completes with the plain backups. Okay, it will be faster when compares with the taking the backup in a plain format. Okay, so by default custom format takes the backups in a binary format, and it is the backup file is compressed by default. And pg underscore restore is a utility which is used to restore these backups, and it will be faster when compared with taking the backups in a plain format. And the next last important point is we can do a specific object restoration. We can perform specific object restoration. We can perform a specific object restore. These are the advantages or points about the custom format. What are the disadvantages with the custom format? Disadvantages is we cannot open, we cannot read the contents. We cannot read the content, and we cannot open or edit the backup file. We cannot open slash edit the backup file. We cannot open or edit the backup file. Okay, what are the disadvantages? We cannot read the contents of the backup file, and also we cannot open or edit the backup file. We cannot open or edit the backup file. This is the about the custom format. What is the next format we have? We have a directory format. So what do I mean by directory format, right? It is also what? It is also in a binary format only. It is also a binary format, and it is also compressed by default. Okay. And one more thing is with the directory format, what happens, right? It is going to create, okay, it is going to create a file for each table. It is going to create it is going to create a file for each table. It is going to create a file for each table that is being dumped. Okay, that is that we will be seeing it in the directory format, okay, that is being dumped, and it is also going to create, a file. Okay, it is also going to create a file which contains, okay, it is also going to create a file which contains information about, the objects that are being backed up. Info about the objects being backed up. It also contains information about the objects that are being backed up, and it will be, and what is the utility that we are going to use? Pg underscore restore. Okay, pg underscore restore is a utility which we will use it for restoring the backups which we have taken in a directory format. And one more important point with the directory format is we can take the backups in a parallel. We can take backups parallel. Parallel means we can use number of parallel option to take the backups in a directory format. What is the disadvantages? The disadvantages, either as it is in a binary format, we cannot read the contents of the backup file, and also we cannot edit or open. The disadvantages are one and the same. Okay, so we cannot open and read the contents, and we cannot edit the backup file. The advantage of the directory format is we can perform, it can take the backups in a parallel mode. It can take the backups in a parallel mode. How we are going to take the backups in a parallel mode, that we are going to see it in the next classes. Okay, in the next session. Okay, so what is the last thing? The last backup format we have is a tar format. This is also a, so it is going to create a tarball file. It is going to create a tarball file, which means like dot tar file. Okay, when you untar this file, when you untar this tar format, it is equivalent to the directory format backups. It is equivalent to the directory format backups, which means, so whenever you take any backup, it is going to be in a dot tar file. Okay, when you untar it, okay, when you untar it, it is equivalent to the directory format backups only. So on pg underscore restore, okay, pg underscore restore is a utility which we are going, which we are using it for restoring the, backups. Okay, pg underscore restore is a utility which we will use it for the, which we can be used for the restoring the backups which we have taken in a tar format. So these are the differences between custom format, directory format, and tar format. Okay, custom format, directory format, and tar format. And okay, now we are going to see how can we take the backups and how can we do the how can we perform a restore. Okay, if you remember, while explaining about the plain format backups, we have covered all the scenarios. Likewise, we are also going to cover all the scenarios using the formatted backups. But what I'm going to do for each scenario, okay, for each scenario I'm going to use some different concept. Like for taking the backup, I'm going to use a, for taking the database backup, I'm going to use a directory format. For taking the backup of a schema, I'm going to use a custom format. For taking the backup of a table, I'm going to use a tar format. Likewise, I'm going to explain, or I'm going to cover all the scenarios for backing up and restoring using a formatted backups. Now let me connect to the database. 1 minute. Okay, this is our source system and this is our target mission. This target always have the issue, I don't know why. Let me connect. Okay, let me check whether the PostGres server is running or not. Yes, you have on PostGres. Let me check what is happening here. It got connected. Okay, let me start the target as well. Okay, now let me go to df-h. I'm removing this rks because it's going to occupy the entire space. Okay, 1 minute. What else we have in U02? Let me check. Okay, so cd slash u01 ls cd space bkps. I'm removing all the existing files from the backup location. So my idea here is, okay, my idea here is, let me take a source. This is a source mission and this is a target. Okay, from the target, okay, from the target I'm going to initiate the backups. I'm going to initiate the pg dump of source. Okay, pg dump of the source. This is how I'm going to take the backups. Now let me take the backup. Okay, I'm on the target mission. So pg underscore dump hyphen u postgres. Okay, hyphen u postgres, and I'm going to take a backup of a database using custom format. Okay, pg dump hyphen u postgres hyphen h 192.168.29.88 hyphen p 5432 hyphen p 5432 and hyphen d. Let me check what are all the database that we have in this. So psql slash l among that. Okay, I'm going to take a backup of a rman database. Okay, hyphen d rman, and I'm going to take a back. So when you don't specify any format, by default pgdump will take the backups in which format. By default pgdump will take the backups in a plain format, which I don't want. I wanted to take a backup. Okay, I wanted to take a backup in which format now? Custom format. I wanted to take a backup in a custom format. So hyphen the rman and hyphen capital F refers to format, as I am going to take a backups in a custom format. Give like small c. Okay, custom format. Then I'm going to take a verbose. Okay, I'm going to give a option called verbose, and I'm going to write this backups into. I'm going to write these backups into some backup file slash hyphen f slash u01 slash backups. Okay, u01 slash bkps slash crds dot bkp. See, it is taking the backup. So let me open one more session for the target. Duplicate tab. Yes, you hyphen postgres. It is dumping the data. Okay, cd slash u01 slash backups. It is taking the backup. What is the size of this rman database? Slash l plus rman. Oh, 2 GB. We have a significant amount of size. So du hyphen sh. Okay, 148 MB so far. Let it complete. It's going to take a time because like the size of the database is 2 GB and my server is running with 2 GB of RAM. It might take some notable amount of time to get this complete. Okay, what is the size of this? 393 MB so far. Okay, it got completed. So when you check this you cannot open. Okay, when you check the file, what is the size of this backup file? 393 MB. What is the database size? Like it is like 2 GB. Now let's check, can we is it possible to open and read the contents of the file? No, because we have taken the backups in a custom format. Now what I'm trying to do, right, just I'm trying to take a backups in a plain format to check the size differences between the custom format backups and a plain format backup. Just I need to remove what? I need to remove hyphen capital F and small c, and I'm going to give like file name as crds underscore plain dot sql. Now let's see what would be the size of this data, what would be the size of this file. Okay, so the thing that I'm trying to let you know is we were trying to find out the differences between the backup file sizes when we take the backups in a plain format and when we take the backups in a custom format. For the custom format, the 2 GB of database has produced a backup file size of 393 MB, and we'll see how much amount of backup file that plain format is going to get generates. Let's wait for a while. Let the plain format gets completed and we will see what would be the size of the backup file when we take the backup in a plain format. Okay. So when you compare with the custom format, plain backup format execution will be little slower. Okay, and the file size will be significantly more. We'll see that. Oh, 1 minute. How come? Yeah, the file size is very less when compared with the custom format, but it is not like this. Okay, so but if you have a big database size with the, like big size database, right, you will see a significant difference between this custom format and plain format. Okay, plain format file size will be always higher than the size of the custom format, but somehow it has generated a less amount of size, but it's not true. We have seen cases where there is significant different the significant differences between the sizes when we take the backups in a plain format and the custom format, but somehow because of this database size, the plain format has created a lesser file size, okay, compared with the backup file, which is not true. The custom file size, backup file size will be always lesser when we compared with the plain backup format size. Okay, plain backup format size. And one more thing is, so now I have a what I have, now I have a backup of, CRDS database in a, okay, now I have a backup of custom format backup of, I have a custom format backup of what? Arman database, right? Arman database. What is the backup file name? crds.bkp. On the target, what I need to do, right? I need to restore this entire, okay, I need to restore this entire backup file into rman underscore dev database. Rman underscore dev database. How can we do that? Whenever you take a backups in a plain custom format, what is the utility that we need to use? We have to use a utility called what? We have to use an utility called pg underscore restore. So what is in which database you wanted to restore? The I'm going to restore it to the rman underscore dev. Do we have a database rman underscore dev? No. Let me remove all the databases first. Drop database rman. On the target I'm removing existing database. Drop database rman underscore qa. Drop database crds underscore qa. Drop database edw underscore qa. I removed all the existing database. Now my requirement is I need to refresh the production data with the rman. Need to refresh the qa dev database with the production data. So let me create a database. Create a database rman underscore dev. Now I have the empty database ready. Okay, now I have the empty database ready. Now what I need to do? I need to Now what I need to do? I need to restore with the backup that I have taken in a custom format. As I have taken the backups in a custom format, what I need to do use, I need to use a pg underscore restore utility. Pg underscore restore hyphen u postgres. Do I need to use hyphen h? If we can ignore, because we are on the same server on which we are going to perform the restore. But to replicate the scenario, just I'm using localhost 127.0.0.1 hyphen p 5432. On which thing I wanted to restore? I wanted to restore it into a database called rman underscore dev, and the file name just you need to give. What is the file name? crds.bkp, and you can use verbose option, and as well as you can log the error log into restore.log. Okay, restore.log. Pg restore hyphen u username hyphen h host name hyphen p port number hyphen d the database name which you want to restore, and simply you need to specify the backup file. If you want, you can mention the format as well, but it is not required. Pg underscore restore will automatically detect the format. Otherwise, if you want to let the system know about the format, you can mention hyphen capital F small c, but it's not required. Now let's true. Now it is trying to do a restore. Now let's check. So psql slash l plus rman underscore dev. Okay, slash l plus rman underscore dev. Okay, see the size of the database is will keep on increase. Now you can open it. If you want, you can see the tile-f restore.log. See, it is trying to process the data. So what we have taken? We have taken a backups in a custom format, and we are trying to restore it to the target. It will take some time because it is like 2 GB of data, right? It takes some time to complete. Yeah. It's almost done. Yes, it is done. Okay, do we? Okay, it is done. Yes. Okay. So now let's connect to the database and slash l plus rman underscore dev. See, 2038 MB. Now what I'm trying to do it, let me connect to the rman database. So now what I'm planning to do, right? Now my next thing is I have a backup of rman database. What is the backup, custom backup I have? And what is the file name? crds.bkp. This is the file name. The file name can be anything. On the target, okay, on the target, I have a rman underscore dev. On the target, I have a rman underscore dev. Now, what I am trying to do, right? Let me check what are the schemas that we have. Slash dn. Okay, what I am trying to do? What I am trying to do, right? I am trying to, okay, what I am trying to do, right? I am trying to drop the schema called db underscore test. I'm trying to drop the schema. Okay, drop db underscore test schema. I'm going to drop a schema called db underscore test. Okay, and as I have a backup from this backup, so what is this backup? This is a full database backup. Okay, I'm going to restore only db underscore test schema from full db backup. I have a full database backup. From that, I'm going to restore only what? Particular schema. Okay, particular schema. First, let me do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drop schema db underscore test cascade. Okay, I have dropped it. Now, see, do we have that schema? We don't have. Now, what I'm trying to do with the help of a pg restore, I'm going to restore it. Okay, pg underscore restore hyphen u postgres hyphen h 127.0.0.1. Okay, hyphen h 127.0.0.1 hyphen p54321. Which database I wanted to restore? rman underscore dev. And I'm going to restore a schema called db underscore test. That's the reason why I'm keeping it as a hyphen n db underscore test. Hyphen v is for verbose, and I'm going to mention the backup file name. Okay, why I'm not mentioning the full path of the backup file? Because I am on the same location where my backup file resides. Okay, hyphen d database name, hyphen n schema which you want to restore, hyphen v is for verbose and the CID's backup file, and hyphen then what I'm going to mention, I'm going to write this data into the I'm going to write this data into a restore underscore schema dot log. I'm going to do this PostGres postgres. 1 minute, something is errored out. Restore underscore schema dot log. Password authentication. Sorry, I gave a wrong password. What happened? PostGres. 1 minute. Okay, what is the issue? While processing error db test. Okay. What it is saying? Connected to the database for restore. Okay, connected to the database for restore, creating a table db underscore test. So what it is telling? It is telling schema does not exist. So the point that you need to remember is whenever you want to restore, first of all you need to create the empty schema. Okay, let me create see rman underscore dev create schema create schema what? Db underscore test. I have created a empty schema. Now let's try to perform a restore. Underscore schema one dot log. PostGres. What happened? Yeah, it is done. Connecting the database for restore, creating a table db test.t2, processing the data for the table db test.t2. So let's check, do we have the schema that got created or not? rman underscore dev. Okay, slash dn. See, db underscore test has been created. How many tables we have? Slash d db underscore test dot star. So we have only one table. Let me check on the source. Slash crman slash dt. Okay, slash dt db underscore test dot star. Yes, we have only one table on the source as well. This is how we can restore a particular schema. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do, right? So I have, and one more scenario what I'm going to cover is I have a backup of, okay, I have a backup of Harman database. I have a backup of Harman database and the in the custom format crds.bkp. Now what I'm trying to do on the target, I'm going to create rman underscore qa database, and this I need to, from this backup file I need to restore only what? I need to only restore only app schema. I need to restore only app schema. Okay, so how can I do? First of all, let me try to create a database called rman underscore qa. Create database rman underscore qa. So let me connect to the database slash c rman underscore qa, and I wanted to restore. Okay, I wanted to restore only app schema. So let me create a empty schema. Create schema app. I have created empty schema in the database. Now let me try to call a pg restore. Pg underscore restore hyphen u postgres hyphen d. Okay, hyphen u postgres hyphen d, sorry, hyphen h 127.0.0.1 hyphen p 5432 hyphen d rman underscore qa. I wanted to restore only app schema hyphen n app, and hyphen v verbose, and crds.bkp is the backup file main, and two double greater than app underscore restore dot log. So I'm going to give like PostGres is the password, and if you see, it is going to restore it. Now this time it will take some time because app is the bigger schema which we have that. See, it is processing the data for B1 table. B1 table is a bigger table which has almost like 1.7 GB of data in it. It will take some time. Meanwhile, what I can do, right? Just I can connect to the database slash c rman underscore qa. Okay. Now what I'll do, slash dt app.start. Already tables has been created. Now what is happening? The data is being dumped. Okay, slash l plus rman underscore qa 1051 MB. Still it is running. Okay, it is done. 1051 MB. So backup has been, the restoration has been completed. See, the restore has been completed. So we got 4 errors. What is the errors? We'll see. vi space rest app underscore restore dot log. What is the error? Oh, so what is the error that you got? There is no space left on the device. So because my slash df hyphen h, my u0 mount point is completely filled. That is the reason why the backup, the restoration has been failed. Now what I'll do, slash u02 pg archive slash archive ls rmi. I am removing the archives. Okay, you are not supposed to remove this directly, but just I did. Slash u01 slash backups. Okay, now again let me whatever vi space app underscore restore one dot log. Okay, server itself got terminated, it seems. Let me check. So pg, how to check? ps hyphen eaf grep PostGres. Is the server running? No, server was down because the space issue. Okay, pg underscore. Let me start the server. pgctl -d slash u02 postgres data directory start. It will take some time because it has to perform the recovery. df-h. My data directory size is significantly very small, so that is the reason why it's not able to cope up with the storage. Anyway, that's how you need to restore. pg restore -u -h -p -d -n -v. So the point that I am trying to tell you here is, if you have a backup in a custom format, you can restore any specific objects. Okay, you can restore any specific objects. The schema, we are trying to restore it into the rm_clear database. Okay, in the next session, okay, let me try to do it again. It may or may not be successful because of the size limitations. Okay, so now what I'll do, right, just I'll continuously going to remove the archives because my u02 mount point size is very less. Okay, that is the reason why. Let me remove the archives. I don't have any other option rather than doing this because I don't have the size, enough size on the u02 mount point. If I let the archives to get created on u02, it will try to fill up the disk and again it will get an error. I don't think it will be successful because again the database size will be like 1.8 GB, I guess. That schema size will be. Anyway, I'll try my level best. If not, that we can't help. I don't think so. 33 MB again you will get an error. That's for sure. Okay, 100% filled. I guess it might got failed out. pg underscore restore. Okay, p app underscore restore dot log. Again it got failed because app underscore restore one dot log. We'll see whether it is. Yeah, it got failed because of the size issue. Okay, it got failed because of the size issue. Anyway, okay, anyway, this is how you need to do. So for the rest of the, I mean, like rest of the scenarios, we are going to cover it tomorrow, and with that we will be completing the custom format and we will be starting the directory format and tag format as well in the tomorrow's class. From tomorrow I'm going to conclude the pg dump. Okay, and then from Thursday I'm going to start a one more concept called what, pg underscore dump all. It will take one day and then I'll go to the concept of pg based backup and replication. Okay, that's it for today. We'll come tomorrow again. Thank you.